guys, it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to be talking about internships. So I've had one internship in the past. I am currently at an internship that I've had since September, and I have another internship coming up this summer starting May until August. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what to do before your internship, during your interview, and during your internship. And I wrote it all down. I'm all organized. It's a lot of information. Oh, hi, Ollie. Hey, buddy. Hey. So let's start with before. Before your internship, this is like finding your internship, submitting your application materials, and stuff like that. So first, for finding your internship, I suggest talking to people. Talk to your peers, your classmates, talk to your professors, and talk to alumni. We have a program at FSU called Professional Mentors, and I reached out to a person through that, and she connected me with 4 people in internships that I was interested in. I also found a few internships through people that had an internship last summer in the program that I'm in, and then I was able to find them for this summer. I also found them through my other classmates. Another way to find internships is through the internet, obviously. You can use things like LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a jobs page and it's really convenient, and it has the job description right there. Another place to find jobs is just Googling the job, and then you can filter it through Google Jobs, I think it's called. And you can filter location, titles, salaries, stuff like that. And then you can also just do a general Google search. So I would search Arts Administration Internship Summer 2020. And then the list of results would come up and I would narrow it down from there. Another thing to do before you submit your materials and go through your interviews and stuff is updating your resume and cover letter. This is super important, and if you would like a separate video on how to create a really good resume and cover letter, I would love to do that. But for now, I'm just going to cover a few things. So for your resume, I recommend using Canva. It's a free website you can use to create it, and they have templates for resumes, and you just fill in your information. And it's super organized and appealing to the hiring manager. For your cover letter, it should not be the same for every internship you're applying for, and make sure that you differentiate your cover letter so that you don't accidentally send one cover letter to the wrong internship, because I know people that have done that before. Another important thing is to clean up your social media accounts or set them private, because employers will be looking at your social media accounts. And I would do things like update your LinkedIn, set your Instagram to private, make your Facebook private, or just clean it up, stuff like that. And then lastly, I would make sure that the email you're using to send out your application documents is professional and not something you made in middle school. So you might need to create one, or you can just use your current one if it's professional enough. And along with that, I would also make a signature that's professional. So that would include your name, and then your phone number and email, your job title, or the college you're at in the graduating year. And then I think I also have my degrees in there. All right, on to interviewing. First thing is make sure you research the company that you're interviewing. So this would be looking at their annual reports, which are sometimes really hard to find. So if you just Google the company and their annual report, it'll give you a lot of information about maybe a certain job section you're looking at, but it'll show you where their money's going, what their budget looks like. It'll show you who works for who. It'll show you who works where in the departments and stuff like that. You will research what programs they have. So For example, if you're looking at a symphony orchestra, maybe they have an education department, maybe they have a fundraising department or a development department, maybe they have a marketing department. You'll want to make sure that you know what department you're applying to and who works in that department, and then also if there's any other departments that interest you in the organization. You'll want to find out who the CEO is, who the person you're interviewing with is, and what their title is, and then who the person you're interviewing with's boss is. I hope that makes sense. If it's a nonprofit, you'll want to know their mission statement so that you can tie it into your cover letter as well. And then you can talk about a little bit about their mission statement in your interview. And lastly, before your interview and you're researching the company, try to find something unique about the organization that you can say that you like, so that it makes you stand out and so that they know you're really interested in that program. Also, during the interview, try not to interrupt the person interviewing you. Make sure that you're listening, but make sure they know that you're listening as well. So like saying okay and and stuff like that while you're being interviewed, so that it doesn't just sound like you're zoning out or doing something else if it's a phone interview. And then also, for me, I like to write out interview questions that I think I'll be getting, and then I write out a response that I could say, and then I practice that response before the interview. So here are a few interview questions that you might receive. Another important thing during an interview is to come up with questions to ask them so that they know you're interested in the position. Another important thing to think about during an interview is that you have to make sure that the position you're interviewing for is a good fit for you, not just that you're a good fit for them. So come up with questions for them, and here are my go-to questions. All right, we're gonna move on to during your internship. During your internship, you're gonna wanna dress professionally, and I have a whole video that I'll link up here on how to dress like business casual for an internship or a job. Show up early. That's a big one. That shows your employer that you're prioritizing them and that you want to be there. Make sure you communicate. By this I mean, if you don't know something or something wasn't clear, like if the directions weren't clear, make sure that they know. Ask questions all the time so that you're learning and it shows that you're interested in what you're doing. And email or contact your employer ahead of time if you're not going to come in that day because you're sick or something pops up, like an emergency pops up. Another important thing is don't complain to your coworkers about your job. So this is important because things can get back to your boss or their boss, and you don't want that on your shoulders. Another important thing you can be doing is asking your supervisor when you're done with your first task or whatever task you're on, what can I be doing now? And keep doing that until the end of your shift so that you're never sitting there bored and you're always helping them. I also like to keep a spreadsheet of my hours and log in that spreadsheet what I was doing that day so that when I go back to write in my resume a job description of what I did during that internship, I can just reference that spreadsheet and I can say, oh, I worked in Salesforce, or I worked on Canvas, or I worked in Microsoft Excel, and stuff like that. My last big point is to network. So this can be if they invite you to lunch, or if they invite you to come to a board meeting, or even just asking them when you go to leave, when you're done with your internship, if they would be willing to be a reference. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me in the comments or on my social media. And if you want to see any other videos related to this, like how to update a resume, how to make a cover letter, stuff like that, I would love to make a video like that. So let me know. Thanks for watching.